Okay.
Yeah, so we're live. Hey guys, how are you doing? Vincent, I can see you. Vincent, how are you doing? White Matters, welcome. How are you doing?
Hi, guys.
So today we have Miriam, Yvonne, Kim. Kim, what's the order of the name?
KYM,
Miriam.
KYM, Kadri,
Kim,
Yvonne, Mariam.
okay. Kadiri, Yvonne, Miriam. I thought
Yes,
KYM
KYM.
was Kim. I didn't.
No,
Okay. So we have Vincent here. Vincent is my very good friend. We also have White Matters, my good friend on YouTube as well. So today we're going to be discussing June 12th, which is Nigeria's Democracy Day, and the protests that have followed so far. White Matters, you guys can call in, but let me just have a chat with Miriam first before you call in. White Matters, I'm doing very, very good. So, Miriam,
yes, Charles.
today being Nigeria's Democracy Day, there's been protests in many parts of the country, many cities, Lagos, protests in Ibadan, there were protests in Abuja, I guess, there were protests in
Yes,
Osun State. Why
major
this protest? I
cities.
mean, today is supposed to be a day for Nigerians to celebrate democracy. Why this protest?
There is really nothing to celebrate. Has this been a democratic government? Does it feel like that? So there was no point in celebrating. We were protesting against bad governance. The entire Buhari governance, everything about it, nepotism, insecurity, everything. Just throw the old government away. There was nothing to celebrate. It was just wait. I think Nigeria violence is even worse than it was in June 12th, 1996.
So you feel currently that the current state of the country was worse than in that June 12 election. That was 1993, right?
Sorry, 1993. Yeah. Yes, it's worse. We're going backward. This is no democracy now. When most of your rights have been taken away, is that democracy? Is that what democracy is about? So why are we celebrating Democracy Day? They should scrap the entire thing until we're ready to get it right. Right now, it's of no use. What's the point?
My goodness. The Buhari government came into power with promises of, fixing the economy, fixing security,
Yeah,
and I think there
right.
were three things: the economy, security,
Insecurity, corruption,
corruption.
fighting
Exactly. How would you
corruption.
say that? How would you say that the government has fared in those three
We
areas?
have gone like 50 steps backward. Like, what am I even saying? Is it 50? We have gone way, way backward. I think Nigeria in 2015 was better than the current Nigeria we have right now under the corruption. There's been more corruption in the so-called government that is fighting corruption. Their government, there's been more corruption than it was in 2015. Insecurity has gone from bad to worse. Is there anything worse than worse? So we're literally dying. Like you can just come out of your house and the next you're dead. It's that bad. It wasn't that bad in 2015. What's your
Uh, but
economy? Have
but a
you
lot of
seen
people wanted
how
Jonathan. A lot of people wanted Jonathan out. So why are we complaining now? I mean, we had
well
Jonathan then in power,
Jonathan
and they were
wasn't
screaming.
Jonathan wasn't a saint. It was it was an inept president. It was weak and all of that. And then there was so much corruption in his administration. But we didn't know that it could get worse. That we thought that was the worst. We were desperate. We wanted anybody else, even if it was a madman that came out that time. I'm sure Nigerians would have voted for the mad person. We're that desperate. We didn't know that it could ever be worse than that. We thought that was the worst that Nigeria could ever get. We
But
never
but
imagined that it could be worse than that.
I keep hearing that Jonathan was a weak president. Jonathan, there was corruption under his government. I mean, how? What were the indices to show that he was a weak president? Was it because he was not authoritarian? We Nigerians were used to on the authoritarian government, so we find a man who is following the rule of law, and then we label him as weak. What exactly did Jonathan do that
Was
made
it for
Nigerians think that he was weak?
we let so many a lot of things. Okay, till now was still recovering Allison's loot. Alison Maduke's loot. Jonathan
Yeah.
just let everybody just carry on with whatever they were doing. Like he had, whether he was scared or I don't know. I don't know what he was trying to do. It was just there. I
But
don't know how to
no,
explain, but
I
he
think
just
that we
sat
got
there
it
and
wrong
watched
with
things just dwindle without doing anything. And just at the point of it was like it was his wife, the first lady that was running things. She was the one calling the shot and all of that nonsense. I don't know. I
no.
don't know.
See, I think that the opposition party did a very good job of trying to paint Jonathan as, this villain and all that. But all round, his government was moving in a very positive direction. Our economy became the largest economy in Africa under Jonathan, and so many things were moving very well. We had our press was freer under Jonathan, and so many other
That's
things.
the only one I
So
can say. That's the only one I can
to
say.
me,
Was the
to me,
economy really moving?
yes, it was. The economy was
J-
good. The economy was good. It
Was
was good.
it?
See,
That was when the
by today's
devaluation of naira
standards,
started doing that. Yeah, but you cannot be judging by today's standard. Like I said
by
before, I
today's
said we went
standards,
from
and
bad to worse.
even by Obasanjo's standards, by
No,
today's
not by
standard, by
Obasanjo's
Obasanjo's
standard.
standards,
It was
no.
during Jonathan's tenure that the value of naira went for. I think then it was a dollar rose to like 180 or thereabout from 97 naira. From 90 something
Yes,
naira, yes, it was doing.
was
Then I
was
think
it
inflation also, yeah, the inflation rate then was also high, but I don't remember the rate right now. So how can you say that the economy was doing good? It wasn't. I know
the economy was relatively good.
it was
It
moving,
was
but
relatively good.
I can't say it was.
It was really see if you compare,
Don't
economic
compare it to now,
indices.
please.
Yeah, economic indices all over the world, with time, as in progressively, the value of currencies are getting, you can't compare the value of the dollar 50 years ago with what it is today. I don't know, somehow it just seems as if currencies begin to lose value with time, over time. It just seems like a natural progression. And I don't think that Nigerians trade as at the time that Jonathan was there was anything out of the ordinary. That was really, really, really bad. But considering that within the space of just 4 5 years, in fact, immediately this man entered, and we just saw the whole thing started nosediving. All the gains that we've made since 1999, everything just seems to be eroded and wiped off by his incompetence. There was nothing he was doing about the economy. The security situation was getting worse. But one of the things he promised was that when he gets into power, that um, insurgency will be over by December.
Yes,
That was
we're
what he
doing a
said.
beating of the back. Yes,
He said it'll be over
we
by December, but
remember.
see where we are today. But
Gone
let's
from bad
let's
to
go
worse.
to let's go to the protests today. Were you part of the protest today?
Yes, there was.
You were part of the protest. So tell me, how was the feel? What really happened in the protest?
Okay, we converged at Unity Fountain, Amitama, and then after a while, the the pro Buhari groups were there too. They came, and then they were heavily guarded, like they had police escorts and all of that. And then we continued the march to Gudu. There's an area in Abuja called Gudu, and that's where police and DSS started to attack us. They shot directly at peaceful protesters. Like it was no joke. They shot at us, and then they
Was it
threw
what did they shoot live rounds, or they were shooting tear gas?
they shot live ammunition, snods, and tear gas too. But they shot at us. But nobody died. Nothing happened. Nobody was injured. We're all running for safety. And then they arrested some people as well. They took some people. And I just couldn't believe that the same police, because part of what we're fighting for is also the minimum wage and all of that. The same people that you're fighting for were being used by the government to kill you. Like those people could, you could see in their eyes that they were ready to kill you if you acted funny. These same people that you're fighting for, they would rather protect. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. It was, I felt that was when I lost all hope. Like I'd never felt so helpless and hopeless. I've never this is like this was like my first protest. I always talk behind keypads and all of that, and just but I was there in life, and it felt so differently. I felt my spirit is still low. I could not believe that it was real. So I was not beginning to imagine what happened during the end SARS protest. That means it was really worse. I could not imagine what those protesters went through, because this small one, they almost killed us. They were ready to kill us. At some point, I
So
had to leave when I could no longer take the tear gassing because I am asthmatic. So
so
I left.
I got this report. So I saw something on online where the pro government protesters were actually paid to come and
Yes,
protest for the
that
government,
reminds
in
me.
as in favor of the government. I mean, has it gotten
Yes,
that bad that they have to pay
my
people to
mechanic,
come and
my mechanic, I saw him there among the pro-Buhari protesters. He does mechanics, and then he goes to school to somewhere in Nasarawa. No, Kaduna. He schools in Kaduna. And it was, I saw him there and I was like, what are you doing? He wore the pro-Buhari nonsense t-shirt that
mm,
person told me that they were mobilized from school. They've been on it. They made shirt for them and all that. But he didn't tell me how much they were paid. He just told me that they gave them money to come out and, or like you, Ahmed, that I thought you had brains. You allowed yourself to be used. He's a northerner, so I did not expect. But he's a great guy, so I don't understand how much he was giving for him to have been able to do that nonsense. But it was later I saw that video where they said it was 1,000 naira that they were paid. I cannot even believe my eyes that someone took 1,000 naira. That's to show the level of poverty in the country. 1,000 naira. So 1,000 cannot even buy you anything. You took that to just come and disrupt people that were fighting actually for your right and for your well-being.
oh,
I saw someone I know
that's
there,
really
so it
sad.
was no story, it was no joke. If someone else had said it, okay, I would have said, okay, maybe it's just propaganda. But someone I know, my
Mm.
mechanic, I am. This is no, I'm not making this up. I saw him there, and he told me
Oh, wow.
that I came back
So the
from school
government
because of that.
has he came back from school just to join the protest because he was
Yes,
paid to protest for the
yes,
government.
yes.
And this is something I've seen about this government where they always buy their way. They always, it's as if they're not living in the current reality that we're living in. The country is burning down to the ground, and the president comes out and he tells you that everything is fine, that we're doing great, that we're doing better than we were doing in 2015.
Mm.
People are being
Yes.
kidnapped every day. There is no day that you not hear of kidnappings in this country. The roads are
We
not
have
safe.
we
If you
have
have to
practically
travel on the
abandoned
roads,
our roads. We have abandoned our roads. We don't travel by roads anymore unless you have a
so
ransom money.
so the protest today in Lagos, although I didn't go out because one, I was a bit under the weather, and two, my wife would not let me out of the house if I even said I was going to do that. And my dad also called me in the morning. I was like, don't go anywhere. Today is going to be rough. Just stay indoors and all
My
that.
family
So
members
I
too,
didn't go.
but
I
I
I did
just
not
didn't listen.
I didn't go out, but I was following it online, and I saw how the protesters, how they started, how they were coming towards that Ganifa Wahimi Park close to Ojota
Yeah.
in Lagos here. I saw how they were moving. They were not being unruly. They were not being violent. They were just exercising their rights, their rights that are supposed to be guaranteed by by virtue of them being citizens of Nigeria. And you can see how the police were amped up, how they were, you know, chasing them and arresting people, just taking them into the vans. And it was, was pitiful because this is a peaceful protest, and protesting is guaranteed under our constitution. So why would you want to interfere with a constitutional process? Why would you want to interfere in a process that the outcomes is naturally going to make your lives better? Because
Better.
Nigerians are not just fighting for themselves; they're fighting for
Every
they're
one of
fighting
us.
for those policemen to have better packages, because I know that their pay is terrible. Many of them, they are
Have
not
you
paid very
seen how
well.
they are living? Have you been to a police barrack?
I have. It's
Yet
terrible.
you let these people use you against people that are fighting for you.
So Vincent is saying, so do you think Nigeria needs to break up and split up for good?
Yes, please. Before I was saying no, we just need to have a new constitution and all of that. That. But see, have you seen the way I live in Abuja and I have met a lot of Northerners? If you hear the way these people think, there is no way we can be in the same country. The thinking is entirely different. If you hear some of them talking, you open your mouth and you be like, okay, does this person have tissue for a brain? You, they are different. We can't. It's not. It can't work. It's not possible. It can't work.
But I have a caveat with that, trying to break up the country. I usually say this, that if the country breaks up, it's not going to break up into two pieces. It's not going to break up into four pieces. It might as well just break down into 1,000 pieces, because the competing interests are just too much. You know, if look at the agitation for Biafran secession in the east, where the Biafrans want to break out. And though many of us in the south were sympathetic to them, but we still don't want to be called Biafrans. We don't want to go with them. So even when they draw their map of Biafra and then they include places like Bayelsa, Edo, Delta states, those of us from those places, we tell them like, guy,
Yeah, we're not part of your
we know you are
Biafra.
fighting for your Biafra, but we're not part of your Biafra. So you just keep it at that level. So to me, if it ever gets to the point where the country breaks up, do we ever see a point where it will break up into manageable units? Don't you see that? Don't you think that chaos will just ensue?
See, Charles, right now I am not thinking well, but anything that will just remove me from being in the same country with these northerners. I know I am being unreasonable right now, but it's because
Mm,
of what I have seen and what I've heard these people say. I can't stand them anymore. It's not, I don't know, it's unhealthy. The way I think right now is unhealthy, but that's how I feel. I cannot be objective about this particular thing right now because these people are not, oh Jesus, I can't explain it.
mm.
They are different. I have seen people from other Muslim countries, but you see this particular these Hausas and Fulanis, not the other minorities in the north. Those ones are okay,
Mm,
but you see Hausa Fulanis, no.
mm.
I beg, their brain is. I'm sorry if there's
And
any
and
Hausa here, but Hausa
and the
Fulani
thing the thing
here.
is that the thing is that when you see them defend the president online, as in when people are attacking the president, we're not attacking the ethnicity of the president. We're not saying this group of people. We are saying this man in particular. But many of them seem to take it very personal. It's as if
My point exactly.
you're
My
attacking
point
them personally. So they
exactly.
just
My point exactly was good luck not part of us was not a southerner, but we always called out his bullshit when he was messing up. We did not say, oh, because he's a southerner, we have to a southerner must remain there so we should cover up his nonsense. No, nobody did that. But they follow their leaders blindly. They can do no wrong in their eyes. You see, if Barry comes back again 2023 and is ready to contest, these people will vote for him and he will win.
he'll win, because basically they're going to rig him into power. Not because
Yes,
he's going to get any I mean, in Abuja, he
they
lost
still
he
have the
lost the
numbers.
nation's capital during the last election. He lost the nation's capital. I mean,
By
how can you
by
lose
what
the seat of
margin?
power?
By what
He
margin?
lost it now.
It was
I don't know
barely
by how
by
many.
what margin? It was barely. see that there, if so, in this Abuja, there are still people who even voted for Buhari. Why would you? Why was that even a thing? It was barely. It was a very, very tiny margin. Very, 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 very close. It was close.
That's terrible. So how's the security situation in Abuja?
Well, it's normal. It's normal. We don't get a lot of those stories we hear in other places. It's just that
Okay,
recently we've been hearing that the Boko Haram is encroaching into Abuja. They are now in neighboring, Abuja, borders.
Nasarawa.
Yes, Nasarawa, Niger State, and all of that. So they're already in Niger State, Suleja. They've been attacking people in Suleja. I know there's no difference between Abuja and Suleja and stuff like that. So it's
Mm.
getting really close. I don't know when they'll finally enter Abuja, and I hope by then I am out of here somehow. I don't know.
But aside the Boko Haram threat, what about robbery and other
No,
petty
no,
crimes?
no, no, no. Normally,
Okay,
Sha, we have a lot of one chance cases in Abuja. We even before the insecurity, the security problem deteriorated to this level. We right from when I was even in school, we used to have a lot of one chance cases in Abuja. So it's still the same. But
okay,
aside that, nothing else has changed. Now that I
okay.
remember.
Bo is asking a question. Let's try and answer this question. Do most Nigerians in general support Biafra besides the Igbos? What do you think,
I
Miriam?
do not. Okay, I do not. I don't think I support Biafra, but I just know that Igbos are not being treated fairly. I think they are being marginalized. Secondly, the reason I don't support Biafra is I think because of their leader. I do not agree with his ideologies and how he's feeling about this thing.
His
The Nnamdi
tactics.
Kanu. Yeah, it's too. I feel it's just one of. It's just this. They are all the same. It's still going to be the same thing when they eventually get this Biafra that they are agitating for. Nnamdi Kanu is just going to turn out like the regular Nigerian politician. I feel he's selfish, is greedy, doesn't
Mm.
care about his people. Is just power drunk and power obsessed. But if
Okay.
the about the Igbos being marginalized, I feel they are marginalized. There's one kind of hatred for the Igbos, and
In what ways is the Igbos more marginalized than any other part of the country?
I'm sure you have the answer to that question. Most of the okay, when last did we have an Igbo president?
When last did we have an Yoruba president? When last
We
did we
have
have a
we had
thief
a we
president?
had no just a, okay we had a president from the south, so it counts for
No,
Robo,
no. When
Shekiri,
you're talk
Edo,
when you're
and
talking,
all of
okay,
that.
I understand what you're trying to say. Let's say political marginalization in terms of getting those political offices. Yes, I can understand that. That's the only sense in which I think. Um, but even at that, I don't know if I would
Have you
count
been
that
to the
as.
east? Okay, I know that
Uh,
most part of the country isn't developed, but the east is like the
Vince,
commercial. Okay, it's supposed to be especially Aba. Do you think if it was any other part of the country, maybe
mm,
Lagos or one part in the
mm,
north that had all the
mm.
potential that Aba had, you think Aba would still be like that?
So you think that it's the federal government that's making Aba
No, I know
that
that their Igbo
decrypt?
leaders are as useless as
Exactly,
they come. I
exactly.
know that one.
So
I know
me,
that
I
their
always
Igbo leaders
like
have a
I always
real
like
limit.
start from home before you accuse the man at the top. You understand? Their governors, their local government chairmen, what are they doing with the monies that are being sent to their states? What are they doing? They're doing nothing with. They're embezzling all the money. And then you want to tell me that the man at Abuja is a problem? You have state
Yeah.
roads that are not being fixed. You want to tell me that the man at Abuja is a problem? If it's the federal roads that are decrypts that are not being fixed in the eastern parts of the country, I would say yes, okay,
The
that's
federal
that's
roads are
federal
terrible,
marginalization. Yeah, they
terrible,
are terrible too, but
terrible.
the state roads are just as bad as well. You get. So it's the same thing all over this country. I don't even think that any tribe is marginalized. I think
No,
we all as
Igbos are not.
Nigerians were marginalized. As Nigerians as a whole, there are two classes: the political class and the people. They are marginalizing us. They are it's the truth. Even when you go to the north of the country, what is really there? What's there in the north of the country? What development is there?
Nothing.
Is it
Those
in
ones,
terms of literacy?
okay, we know they don't have anything, so they should not expect anything. What do they have? What are they called? Okay, from agriculture. Well, but it's understandable they don't have anything. What so what do they expect to
Okay,
get?
let's answer what
How much are they
Vincent is saying.
contributing to the nation's revenue?
Vincent, do you want to come in so that we can talk? Because I usually hear this Yorubas are what do you call it all the time, which I want to dispel. I want to dispel that myth that Yorubas are cowards and all that. The other parts of the
Sellouts.
country are
They
more
are sellouts.
sellouts. To me, I think the Yorubas are more they are more they are
Strategic.
more brave than any other. Vincent, come in.
I think they are more strategic. They play the game
Yes,
better.
exactly. So it's not by who is shouting the most. Is take for example, see how they were able to handle or they were able to tackle some of the security challenges in their part of the country. You know, they went through the route of legislation. You understand? All the state governors came together in the West and they empowered the so-called Amotekun, even though the federal government was against it, but there was legislation backing it
Yeah.
in the southern state, in the western states. So somehow the federal government couldn't really do much. Compare that with what the Easterners were trying to do. They just set up a security network, Eastern Security Network. Without you see that the governors are not even they're not they're not united. There was no consensus in saying, okay, our people are being attacked. Let us do something about the security situation. You come out and
Yeah.
you just set up a security network. The government is going to prescribe them and call them terrorists, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I
I'm
think
So
that
sorry
the
to
the,
say,
the Westerners are
the average Igbo man is greedy, only thinks about himself. He's selfish and only thinks about that's the same thing with that's what the Igbo leaders are doing. They just go to Abuja and just talk, watch, look out for only themselves, what they can get from the government, and they don't care what their people are going through.
okay. Um,
Vincent.
hello, Yvonne, Charles, and Oswald. How you guys doing? Hello.
We're good.
Hi.
Well,
So
fine,
yeah,
hope
so
you're
you know
good.
that claim that you just made about the Eurobars being weak, right? So you saying that it's more in terms of strategy, that's how they think. Is that what you're trying to
Yes.
say? Okay,
Yes.
but when it comes to rising against the government, why is it that we usually see the Igbos or the ones from the east, they're the ones that are ready to fight, but the Eurobars, they're just more compliant or more they
That's not
don't seem to
true.
have, oh, is
That's
that
not
so?
true. That's not true. If you look at many of the activists, the leaders of activist groups in Nigeria, many of them are Yorubas.
Okay, so what
Yeah,
historically
Sowore is a Yoruba.
majority of them are
Gani,
Yorubas.
many activist leaders in Nigeria,
Majority them,
majority of them are
Fela
Yorubas.
Rotimi, Gani,
Just
Fani,
name them, they are Yorubas.
Falana,
So
uh,
the
like
just
majority.
name.
So I don't know if I can call
So
somewhere,
I
but
don't know
yeah.
where I know this trope has been going around that Yorubas are cowards and that is really not true. It's not
so
true.
so I take it that this whole that saying that has been going on for years across the decades in Nigeria. Is that correct?
I didn't get that.
So for years, like saying the Eurobars are weak. It's been a common theme like here and over the years.
Yes, it's
Yes, yes.
it's a it's something that's been going around for decades, but there's really no merit to it.
But
There's
why do you
really, really
think
no
that
merit to
is?
it.
Okay, but why do you think that is?
Okay, I think the reason why that something like that will crop up is maybe looking at the individual
Mm,
characters of certain Yoruba people. You understand? You know,
mhm.
many Yoruba people naturally are very fearful. So if you live in an environment with a Yoruba person, is more likely to act in a if something happens in a fearful manner. Personally, I'm not talking as a group. So it's easy to just ascribe that behavior to the majority of them. But when it comes to the real issues, like actually standing up for certain things, no, those
Mm.
guys
But
they're brave. They're brave.
as a group,
But
I
in the
think
whole of
that's
Nigeria, oh, go on, Yvonne, go on.
okay. As a group, I think that started during the Biafra war. How the
Error.
Yoruba sold out the Igbos and all of that. And okay, they're supposed to form an alliance, and at some point, I think the Yorubas betrayed them and
Checking
stuff
that
like
off.
that. So
They
yeah,
checking
so
that.
I think that's
Right,
where that thing came from.
right.
That's where it came from.
But in terms of who is more likely to fight and show resistance out of all tribes in Nigeria, which tribe would you say it is?
Yorubas.
Yorubas.
Oh, really? So you wouldn't put
Yeah.
Ib as the number one?
No, those ones they're just see the truth is it's not the person that makes the most noise that is actually going to come out to fight or is actually going to be more effective. The Yorubas have been in the struggle for a very long time, even before right now the reason why the Biafra issue is so hot is because the guy
Mm,
there is a northerner and he's more like someone who wants to impose northern ideology. His people are running rampant and he's not putting them in check and all that. So
right.
that is why the sentiment it's so the eastern sentiment is so strong right now that okay, we want to get
But
out of the country. You
but do
understand?
you yeah, but do you ever see the eastern region of Nigeria ever break, leaving Nigeria and becoming its own country? Do you ever see that
I
happening?
don't know. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think so.
Where is Yvonne from originally?
He's from your
Edo
state.
State.
Oh, you are. You are nice. Same here. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
from Edo State. I thought you were Yoruba. I saw your surname, Alakija.
No, it's a fake name. That's like I said. No, that's not my name. No. But yeah. Oh well.
So we have to dispel
But
with that myth that the Yorubas are cowards. They're not. They are strategic, and and and
Yes,
and
they are
that's
strategic.
I think that's what we need in this country. It's not about coming out to fight the government with force. You're not going to win the federal government in a battle of might.
But how else do we
They
fight?
see how else do we fight? We can't. We have to fight. We have to fight with our votes more. We have to fight with getting more engaged in the political
oh
process,
please,
and we have
Charles,
to
What
please.
fight.
Are you
votes? Are you
serious? Voting? Really? Voting in Nigeria?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
vote?
Okay.
Are
Do
you
you know why
aware
I say
that
that?
the Senate is at the verge of
Go ahead, Charles.
confirming
Explain.
Do
Nauta?
you know
Explain.
why I say that, Vincent? Okay,
Why
now
do you do
see,
that? Go on.
no
Explain.
matter how wrong a political process is, when there is complacency from the people, it gives room for easy manipulation. There is usually voter apathy in Nigeria when it comes to elections, especially local elections, where you want to pick your senators, you want to pick your House of Representative members. People really don't go out to vote, even in general elections. So
And why is that?
what happens to your voter cards? What happens to your names that are already in the register that these people can manipulate and ascribe to themselves? But if more people are engaged in that process, it minimizes the extent to which they can manipulate the process. And I'll give you a prime example. Why is Edo State election kind of different? The election that brought him Adam Soshomole, was it not rigged? But he did not get his mandate back because the
Yeah,
people were ready to fight and they were ready to see to it that the person who won the election got his power back.
same
Same
as
with the
last
last election.
election.
Same as the last election. So the people, once the people are ready and they are saying, okay, look, our voices will not be denied this time by our vote, then we'll be able to make a process. But we have to
But
start
what
at
happened in
the local level.
2019? Because I know
We have to
that a
start at the
lot of
local
us.
level.
Okay, what happened in 2019 then? The 2019 election? Because I know a lot of us were not ready to have Buhari come back. So, and we know that
Many
the
people did not
election
vote.
was rigged.
Right. But do you think Yvonne, right, is because Buhari was clearly the lesser of two evils in comparison to his counterpart, what's his name again? The other one.
Atiku,
Right, Atiku, because remember that outrageous comment he made, right, where he said something about the electricity in Nigeria, I believe it was. right? But anyway, clearly between the two of them is because he was the lesser of two evil. How come there were? I mean, I'm just saying, were there not more candidates running for presidency in Nigeria? Why is it that it was just shortlisted down just to those two individuals? Why is that?
Sometimes it just feels like we're running a two-party system because we
It
just
doesn't feel like we're actually running a two-party system in this country.
because there were
It's
other
a,
candidates like really strong. They would candidate that would have been really strong. And we had Sowore, we had Mogalo, we had Fela Dorotoye, and somehow people just focused on only Atiku and Buhari.
See, the truth is, if you want to become president in this country, there are two parties which will guarantee your success. Like those comedians will say that there are only two parties in the Nigeria, PDP and APC, that the rest are after party. That is really the truth.
I
If
wish they
you
would have
want
formed
to
an alliance. The way
see,
ACN, AP,
if you want to get to power in this country, it's either the APC or the PDP. So in theory, we are a multi-party state, but in practice, we are a two-party state.
okay,
We're
if
just a
do you know,
two-party
okay,
state.
you know, in 2013 that ACN, CPC, and which is it APP or one other party that
Yeah,
formed
they came
this
together to
APC,
form the
yeah,
APC.
to form because
Yeah,
before then they were just normal small parties that could never even stand a
true,
chance to win
true.
PDP. Why I thought that was what I expected from Sowore, Mogalo, and Fela Dorotoye.
They were all selfish. They wanted to become president instead of looking at the bigger goal. That was the problem.
Can I
Each of
just
them wanted to become president.
can I just interject?
Vincent, go ahead.
Unstoppable Force. He came on the panel. Unstoppable Force. If
Yeah.
you do, you have any questions? Unstoppable Force. And how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So, because there's a lot of Nigerian millionaires, no, sorry, billionaires. Why are they helping the country in some way? Like the richest black guy in the world is Nigerian. It's like, shouldn't he
Mm,
be helping the country?
right. Did you understand that, Charles?
Yeah, I did. See, the truth is there's little he can do as an individual. And besides, he's a
Really?
businessman.
But hold on.
Yes.
The richest black man, I mean, if we're going to be technical, is in Nigeria, and the richest black woman in the world is from Nigeria, right? What?
Yeah.
But then, Dan Gote, right? Who's that other one
Yeah.
in Lagos, the one who is buying up all the properties in
Folarunsho
right?
Alakija.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
him.
that's Yusuf Alakija.
Basajar. Who's that other one again? There's one other popular man, right? A few others, right? Why are they not, creating institutions, creating charities, or social welfare programs? These people have a lot of political influence within Nigeria. Why is it that it's
They
always
are
bad?
benefiting from this system.
See, the system basically guarantees that Dangote has a monopoly on certain areas of the
Right.
economy.
Exactly.
So
Hmm.
why do you think he would want to truncate a system that's benefiting him? He wouldn't want to
It
do that.
can't. He's a
It's
businessman.
about the money for them. Yeah, he's a businessman, so he will do whatever keeps him at the top
So
of.
pretty much where you guys are saying that he is the African version of Trump, right? He's just, yeah, pretty much of right.
I wouldn't say so. I don't know.
He pretty
I
much
don't
is.
know
He pretty much
how
is.
you can draw that comparison between him and Trump. I mean, he's
Well,
not a
he
politician.
donated. He one of the richest Nigerian in the world. It's reported that in 2014, he donated
Yeah.
100 million naira to halt the spread of Ebola. He also did something where he installed where was it, fiber. Yeah, he installed fiber optic
See,
cables to supply the whole of Nigeria in
see.
2009.
The thing about Nigeria, we have to understand that our problem is not an issue of money, of pumping money into a particular sector. Our
Mm,
problems are structural problems. Our problems are, first of all, security, but
mm,
But
roads.
who are
We're
the
talking
ones who
about
did that?
infrastructure. So those are not things that are in the private domain. Those are things that are in the domain of the government. If there's no security, if there's no electricity, if there are no good
But you,
roads, good road networks, there's nothing a billionaire can do. He
let
can
me
only
say,
pump money into
let me
social
say,
welfare
yeah,
programs, and
yeah.
they can only go as
Let me
far.
let me just say this though: the problem with Nigeria is in the whole of Africa, apart from North Africa. Because let me just say this: the Europeans, they came over, they colonized everything, and they just took from Africa. They structured, they lined up, they built, and then they just fucked off basically. So they just left the country, and then you have Chinese people, which what they're doing, Chinese people are trying to take over Africa. They're trying to create it into an Asian continent, because now you have
Mm.
Chinese people that are going there. They're living in Nigeria and they're discriminating against Nigerians. They're telling Nigerians, you can't come into this restaurant, you can't come into this place, because what they're doing is they're buying on the cheap and they're trying to sell high. So if the Nigerians don't do anything about this, Nigeria is going to become China. It's going to become China in the next 15 years. So this has to, that whole of Africa has to realize that the Europeans and other people don't have their best interests at heart. They're just looking to take and
Mm.
to control. That's what they're doing.
Right.
You're
So,
you're you're right. Okay, go ahead, Vincent.
but you saying he's right, right? But weren't you the same person who said, was it not last week or the week before that, that Nigeria is too big for that, oh no, it's only in other African countries. No, I mean, let's be honest. If it's happening in other countries, it's definitely going to spread to Nigeria, right? Because now
Correct.
right, I know, but it was just last week you seem to have a different change of
No,
attitude. Like
no.
you're okay,
Okay,
go on.
so this is what I said. I said that it is not as pernicious as you have in some other African countries, like you have in Nigeria. Our problem here is that it is the leaders that are selling us out. The leaders
Mm.
are getting loans from China, and these loans are coming with certain conditions. There was a time that Nigerian government got
If
a
you
certain
get
loan
in
from
and get
China,
in.
and there was a huge blowback from the Nigerian population because there were certain terms in it that were looking as if they're going to take over certain infrastructure. So
Right.
Yeah,
why
yes, I
yeah,
remember.
so we're very aware of what China is trying to do in Africa, and I can tell you that Nigerians, as a people, we are very, very much opposed to it. We're
Well, you
very,
could
very
be very,
much
very
opposed to
much
it.
opposed to that, Charles and Yvonne, but your
It's
government,
it's not
right? It's the
enough to
government.
just be opposed to it.
But is it not the government that has the last say?
Yes,
Right. So regardless of whether the Nigerian population is against it, I mean, really, we have to think to ourselves, okay, we have to also realize that it's the government that has the last say. So, this is why I'm saying, like, all this, protest, revolution, and everything, it kind of needs to happen. We need to really form a new.
Vincent, you have to come back to Nigeria. You have to come
I've
back
been
to
to
Nigeria
Nigeria
and be a
several
part of
times,
that.
Charles. I've been
No,
to
you
Nigeria.
have to come back to Nigeria
Please
and be a
don't
part of
come
it.
back. Please don't come back. Please do not
I
come
mean, I
back.
might be coming in the Christmas holiday,
Please
so
do not come
See,
back.
see,
like,
in this day and age,
mhm.
nothing can be gotten from a violent process. I am telling you the truth. It's going to devolve into carnage as quickly as possible. I knew what happened during the NSAS protest. I know the dangers I faced. What
Oh, you
happened?
protested, did you?
No, no, no. I didn't protest, but I
Oh,
was going to work and I knew what
I
I
lost a
faced on the
friend
road
during the NSAS
because
protest.
now this there are two dangers. One danger is from maybe the security operatives, and the other danger is when the security operatives actually pull back and miscreants just take over the whole place. After the NSAS protest, for a while, all the
We
policemen had
experienced
left the
both.
streets. They had all gone back in. They were not working. I was coming back from work, and around that K2 axis, these hoodlums and the rest, they blocked the road. They were extorting money from people, and they were actually fighting. They were fighting themselves, destroying things. And right in front of me, they hit one of them. They hit one of them with one metal like that. The guy just slumped. He slumped there, and I don't think that guy would even survive. As immediately that happened, the vehicle in front of me, they started vandalizing that vehicle. They started vandalizing the vehicle until he was able
so,
to escape and somehow were able to leave that situation. The reason
well,
why it got to that point was because the security operatives had pulled out of the streets and miscreants, hoodlums just took over the whole process. So I am not in favor of anything that would devolve into anarchy. No, 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 no.
So let me
However
ask you
long,
this.
however long a political process would take, I am much more in favor of that process.
All right. I think Unstoppable Force. Did you have anything to say?
Yeah, I had something to say. You know, the problem with Nigeria is the same thing that happened to Ghana, the same thing that happened to some other of these West African black countries. I mean, look what Ghana did in the 16 or 1300s. You know, UK. You know, the Europeans came over and then, you know, they couldn't really fight off the Portuguese and they ended up sending their own people into slavery. You know, things like that happen. This is what black people do. They sell their own people for money, and it's not going to stop. You know, the only way it will stop is if the government changes. You know, the government are not going to change because the problem with Nigerians and the problem that's going on with Nigerians is the same thing that's going on with other black countries. They only care about themselves. It's self-serving. It's just selfishness. This is what you need to understand. When it comes to politicians, they don't care about you. They don't care about the country. They only care about themselves. So when we talk about can we fix this, you're not going to fix it because when you go into the realm of power, you know, people in politics, especially Nigeria, have power. Black people are the black people that have power are naturally narcissistic. So the people in the Nigerian government are very narcissistic. They don't care about what you're going through. They don't care what about Nigeria. They don't care about the culture. They probably they don't really identify with any tribes or do any tribalistic things which show that they're part of the culture. All they care about is money, and all they care about is security. So this is what you're fighting. Do you understand? And this is a battle which is not going to stop. It's been going on since the 1300s. All you have to do is look at Ghana. Nigeria did the same thing. Well, it wasn't called
Right.
Nigeria at that time. It's called Benin and Togo and these other places. You know, this is what they do. The Europeans come over, the Asians come over, they give them money, and then they just let loose and they just destroy everything because they only
Mhm.
care about themselves. This is the problem, and this is why it's not going to get fixed because all you need to do is look at the other black countries. So what makes you think Nigeria is going to get fixed if these other black countries are not going to get fixed? That's what I have to say.
Wow,
Any response
that
to
was a
that?
lot to unpack.
Yeah.
um, the, uh, like I would always say, because the buck stops with the government and what the government does, I would
Mm.
always favor a political solution to our problems. I would always favor more engagement with the political process. Now, okay, let me give you an example. I think I gave this example some of the time. One of the live streams I did. A lot of Nigerians don't even think they don't believe in our legal processes,
Yeah. I think it's
so they
very
don't even
Would
try
you
to take
blame them?
advantage of it.
right.
No, you won't blame them, but it creates this. Once there's this apathy, we don't even try to test the system in the first place or make it work. I gave this example of a sales rep who was working in somewhere in Lagos, and his vehicle got spoiled somehow. His hazard light was on. He was trying to fix his vehicle, and then these local government boys came. They towed his vehicle. They took him to their office, and they asked him to pay a fine of about 25,000 naira. They beat it down from 50,000 to 25,000. So there's this Association of Medical Sales Rep, the president. When he got to hear the case, what he did was that he wrote a petition and copied the local government chairman and copied the governor of Lagos State. This happened about 2 weeks ago. You know what happened? The local government chairman asked those boys to refund the money to that guy. He asked them to refund the money. They
Wow.
came, the boys that took the money came, they were pleading that, okay, let them refund 10,000. The man said, no, refund the full amount. They were pleading, let's return 15. This guy said, no, return the full amount until they returned the full amount. But imagine if he was just like, oh, I've been taken advantage of. There's nothing I can do. Let me just take it like that. I've
Okay.
also
Well.
been in a situation where these VIO people tried to take advantage of me. But because I knew my rights, I knew that they were on the wrong, They couldn't do that. The fine I was supposed to pay, I did not get to pay it because I knew what I was doing. So at times, our apathy towards these things also contributes to why the politicians feel they can get away with anything. Vincent, go ahead.
No. Carry on. I'm still just taking it all in.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying. My thing is we need to start first of all from our local representatives. Are we involved in choosing our local government chairman? Nobody seems to even mention local government chairman in Nigeria anymore.
Why
Nobody,
is that?
but those are the closest, they are the closest arm of government to the people. And they should be responsible for certain things. For example, the markets, the primary health care. Nobody talks about them. Everybody keeps shouting about the federal government or even the state government. But that
What
which
about
is most
Boko
close to
Haram?
you, nobody talks about it. Boko Haram is in the realm of the federal government because that's an insurgency problem. So the
Oh
federal
wow,
government has to deal with that.
really? So Charles, you haven't heard that Buhari himself, the president himself, is actually a supporter of Boko Haram and also many other in this cabinet. Have you heard about that? And if so, what are your
Well, it's
thoughts on it?
just hearsay. It's not like it's some kind of confirmed information. It's just speculations. So we can't even capitalize on that.
The truth is, whether or not the president is a supporter of Boko Haram, he can't come out and tell you that he's a supporter of Boko Haram. There
No,
will always be
obviously,
speculations that he is a supporter of Boko Haram, probably because of the way he's taking issues is not being forceful enough in trying to deal with the security problem.
I just say this, like one thing I realized about Nigeria, because I didn't really know a lot about Nigeria until like 2 years ago. Like
Okay.
the problem with Nigeria and Nigerians, especially in the UK, is nobody really understands what a Nigerian is. Because, I know Vincent, you said most Nigerians are Christians, but on the statistics it shows that
Muslim.
yeah,
It's
sorry,
both.
Muslim. So yeah,
It's both. Yeah.
most Nigerians in Nigeria are Muslim. But I've
It's
met
both.
Nigerians. Pardon?
No, I said it's both. But yeah,
I,
huh.
yeah, I know, but I was just saying because I looked at statistics. It said there's the 55% of Nigerians are Muslim, then the second is Christian. But that's besides the point. Like I've met Nigerians in the UK, some who are Muslim. I'd say most Nigerians I meet are Muslim, and some are Christian. And you notice a difference between the ones that are Muslim and the ones that are Christian. The
Oh,
ones
really?
that. Pardon?
I said how so?
So, for example, the ones who are Christian seem, how can I put it?
More forward, like they have more
Nah,
passion.
more. They seem more passive and more or less a candidate for homoeroticness. And yeah, so whereas the Muslim Nigerian, you see them associating a lot of Asian people, Turkish people,
Uh-huh.
Arabs. And it seems like they feel they're better than the ones who are Christian, and then you have other Nigerians who are more into the Nigerian culture. Because we have to understand, a Muslim Nigerian, their culture is not Nigeria. Their culture is Islam.
Islamic, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Nigerians whose culture is Nigeria. So we have different types of Nigerians, and Nigerians are very complex. Like, when you explain to someone what Nigerian is, they're going to tell you different things. So, what is a Nigerian? Is a Nigerian naturally supposed to be a Muslim? Are they
Right.
naturally Christian? Are they naturally nothing? Because these religions are religions that have been placed on you, by other nations, by other people. So you have to ask yourself: should a Nigerian be a Muslim? Should they be a Christian, or should they be something else? Because you have Nigerians who don't follow any religion and they're just following their tribe. But then you have other Nigerians that say, no, you're supposed to be a Muslim. A Nigerian is supposed to be a Muslim. So what is a Nigerian?
I've yet to hear
Okay.
someone tell me that's a Nigerian. I'm supposed to be a
Yvonne,
Muslim.
do you want to go ahead before I respond?
No, you can respond.
Okay. So, yes, Nigeria, we're not a mono-religious state. So the two biggest religion in Nigeria, Islam and Christianity. Islam is predominant in the northern part of the country, while Christianity is predominant in the southern part of the country. Well, from official statistics, it seems to be that Islam is at least more dominant, maybe with say 50 something percent. Then
No, it's less than
Christianity, then Christianity 40 something or close to 45. Then the other small percentage practicing their traditional religions. Now, in terms of what is a Nigerian, it depends on which Nigerian you're meeting or which Nigerian you're asking. We have over 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria, um, and each of them have their own unique identities. Each of them have their own unique cultures and their language. And so the major thing that coalesces people in Nigeria is usually the religion. So most of those in the south who are Christians, the major thing that would bring them together is the Christian religion. And most of them in the north who are, and something I find interesting is that even in the north, there are a lot of Christians, especially
right.
um,
Yeah, the
with the
minority tribes. Yeah.
indigenous, yeah, with the minority tribes in the north. So
They're
that really
common,
calls
right?
into question, it
Right.
calls into question whether Islam is actually the predominant religion
Right.
in Nigeria.
Thank you. You
Because if you
right.
go up north, those villages and the rest, many of them are Christians. It's usually
Right.
the Hausa Fulani that are usually Muslims.
Right.
But
Mm,
for
exactly.
Nigerians that you see outside Nigeria, you're most likely going to encounter a Christian. If you're in the
Right.
western part of the world, you're most likely going to encounter a Christian than a Muslim Nigeria in
Yeah.
say in the West. So then whether Nigerians in Muslim Nigerians, whether they identify more with the Arabs and all that, it could be because of the
They do.
religion. It could be because many of them speak Arabic. They're usually taught Arabic from childhood, so they
Avado.
know. Yeah, they're taught Arabic,
Oh,
so
Yeah,
they know.
I just want to say I noticed some. I have known some Nigerians who have Arabic names.
Yeah, it's
yeah, I
common.
know. Obviously, yeah.
The
I
Like
learned
northerners,
like
the ones
Arabic.
in the
I
north.
learned
Mohammed.
Arabic too because I am from a Muslim family. I have a Muslim background. I learned Arabic, but most times we don't even know what we're learning. We just cram everything and just recite. It's not like we actually know the meaning of the things that we're saying. So
I
let
just
me
want to
just put
say
that out
something.
there.
Sorry, like there's a big trend going on in the UK with because where I'm from in London, okay, most of the Nigerians are Muslim. You know, I've never met a Christian Nigerian. They're all Muslim where I'm
I
from.
don't know what part of London you're from, and stuff, but obviously I grew up as well in London. But almost, in fact, every Nigerian I know in the UK is Christian. Like, in fact, to be honest, up till today, I've yet to meet a Nigerian from the UK that is. I mean, I know that they do exist, but I've not even encountered them. But I don't know. Maybe it's our, different part of London. But carry on.
Yeah, I'm from Southeast London, not too far from Croydon, but yeah, like yeah. So like a lot of the Nigerians that a lot of there's a trend in in London with Nigerians entering interracial relationships, and this is usually I see with the ones who are Muslim, because in Islam it teaches no there's no such thing as color, blah blah. Even though the Prophet Muhammad himself is said to be white, which again goes back to my hypothesis of the fact that every religion black person follows, it just goes directly to the white person. But that's a whole other conversation. But what I've seen is what a lot of Nigerians are doing is they're in London. They're trying to get with East African girls and girls who are of other ethnicities who are Muslim. And what happens is they get chewed up and chucked in the bin, because what they don't realize is these other ethnicities don't like Nigerians. They're racist towards Nigerians. The race that the ethnicity that these women say that they don't want their daughters to be with, at the top of the list is Nigerian. Jamaica is number two. Don't get me wrong. Jamaica is number two, but number one is Nigeria. You
Yeah.
know, so there is a
So
big problem.
So I'm
Yeah.
sure you would notice, right, that the Christian Nigerians, we don't do that, right? We obviously stick with our own for the most part, or we will, date a Caribbean. We wouldn't be with an East African or someone from Somalia, right? It's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Muslim Nigerians. Well, there you have it. They are different from us in the south. The majority of them that hail from the northern region of Nigeria. But
yeah.
yeah,
This is what I'm saying about Islam. I no disrespect to Islam. Like Islam is a great religion if you want to follow that.
mm,
But when you become a Muslim, okay, and you read, the Quran and you speak Arabic, it turns you into a white person. It turns you into a person that hates yourself. It turns you into a person that wakes up one day and is like, I want to get with a Arabic girl. I want to
mm,
get with this girl because I'm too dark or something. This is what it does to you, because all religions go all the way back to white people. It's just you being submissive to white people. So I don't think religion is good for any Nigerians. I think Nigeria should get rid of all religions. No offense if you're a Christian, and just follow their tribe or follow their own religion, where there's a black god or something like that. Because this is what it does. This is what Islam does.
That is
It
not
messes
even
your mind up.
possible.
go on. You've
That
on. You want to respond? Go on.
I said that is not even possible. That's not. It can't even happen. We can't just abandon it. We can't just abandon the religion just because we think it has already shaped us, right? Even if you decide to say, "Oh, I'm no longer practicing this religion," it's already in your head. It has conditioned you. It has already shaped you. Your There's nothing you can do about it. It can't change. But I don't. I know religion is part of our problem, but I don't think is abandoning the religion is a solution to the problem.
Mm.
Yeah, I just think that there's nothing wrong with following a religion, but when you socialize with people of that religion, you see that they don't like you. You see that there's racism there. You just saying, like, this is what a lot of people don't understand. These other countries don't like Nigerians. These other races of people do not like Nigerians. It's not just Nigerians, but Nigerians are the number one people that they hate. And I'm talking about in the realm of black people. They do not like Nigerians. And this is a massive problem. So this is
So why
why
do you think why do you think they don't like Nigerians? What's the reason?
the reason they don't like Nigerians is, first of all, because they're black. Okay, that's first of all. Second of all, it's because of the way Nigerian men are built. They think it's intimidating. So, like, let's say
I
you
didn't
got,
say that.
yeah, the way Nigerian men are built, muscular, because when these other races of people think of Nigerian men, for example, they get intimidated, so they feel like they don't want their daughter to be or something like that. And then people in general are racist towards Nigerians because of the country itself. There's a lot of negative
Connotation
attitudes.
and
Yeah,
stereotype. Right,
yeah,
right.
stereotypes. Like, I've seen people online say Nigeria is a shithole country and all this stuff, So there's a lot of negativity associated with it. And on top of that, they're black. Do you understand? So the main reason is because you're black. Do you understand? Like, you can say you're
I have
African,
to
but
go,
then they,
guys. Take care. Bye.
yeah, then the main reason is because you're black and because you're African and because your country, somewhat has some type of culture, but even still, you're still black. This is what a lot of Nigerians, men, don't understand. You're still black. Okay, like,
Aside from being black, we're not the only black nation in the world. It's just because of our bad reputation, the fraud and all of that crap that most Nigerians are known for. And then there's this thing about Nigerians that even when we have nothing, we always look like we have everything. We have this intimidating, how do I say it, courage or something. So it's you always feel that we have everything going on well for us. It's natural, it comes naturally. And then for the bad reputation that we have, that's why almost everyone in the world hates Nigerians. Everybody. It's mostly because of the bad reputation. I don't think
Okay.
it's just
Now
about the color of our skin.
I think something very interesting that Unstoppable Force said was that they hate Nigerians because they feel intimidated by us, which I think is one of the very big reasons why they don't like us. I mean, Nigerians are very successful when they go out of Nigeria when they're out there. They're very successful. So it's easy for the jealousy to creep in, and it's easy for that to translate into the hate of Nigerians. So that may be a bigger factor than maybe the perception of Nigerians has been. What else? Maybe a bigger factor than that. But it doesn't seem like there's anything we can do about it. As Nigerians out there, we're individuals and we have to do what we have to do. But most Nigerians are good people, law-abiding people who do what they have to do. Now, Bo said, I've heard Nigerians say Nigeria is a shithole country. Yvonne, do you want to respond to that?
Is it not a shithole country, Charles? Is it not? Is it not
So,
only
Bo,
in a
you've got,
shithole country that everything that is going on right now can just happen and nobody's doing anything about it? We just easily adapt and just move on with our lives.
so Bo, there you go. You've gotten the response. The truth is, we're going to tell it as it is. And when we say it's a shithole country, it's not because the people are shithole, it's because the leaders have made
The
it so. The leaders
system
are
is a
terrible.
shithole.
They are horrible. They are horrible. And we need to start making our leaders much more accountable. I think that is one of our greatest failing. We have not, especially at the local level. We're looking at the top too much. We're looking at the at Abuja. Abuja is too far. It is your leaders in your local communities, your leaders, your House of Rep members, your local state representatives. Those are the places we need to start from. And once we
See,
should be able to get those right, it will translate into
Charles,
something better.
another thing that you don't know. Okay, I got to know this because I am somehow closer to people at the grassroots. My mom is an HOS with the local government. So,
Okay.
do you know? Okay, the local government does not have autonomy like it should. For months now, do you know some states have not sent some of this local government their allocation, their monthly allocation? Are you aware? These people are struggling to even pay salaries, not to talk of even building infrastructures. They don't have money to work, they have no autonomy. This was the same thing
But is
that
that
some local government were fighting for during, I think, was it in 2015, 2016, there about Oshomole and the likes of Amechi were the ones that kicked against it, and it didn't happen.
is that the situation for all local governments?
I am speaking about the ones I know.
Okay, Bull says that he doesn't think it's jealousy, but mannerism is why Nigerians have problems in the West. When you say mannerisms, what do you mean by mannerisms, Bob? Is it that we're loud? Are we very expressive? Do we show ourselves as larger than life? Is that what you mean? Anyhow, the local governments, yes, I believe that the state governments are basically choking the life out of them
Yes,
by not releasing their
they're
funds. And
helpless. Do you know in my um throughout I think all through the last tenure, my local government chairman only served for 1 year, like barely 1 year. Obasaki
mm,
just woke up one morning and decided to remove him
and remove
because
them.
yes, because he's a Shumale's boy. They have no autonomy.
Wow. So before we end this live stream, let me ask you, what do you think Nigerians can do to change things?
Are you talking to me? Is that question for me?
Yeah, okay. Okay, Bo is coming in. Before you answer that, Bo has come in. Hello, Bo, how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, man? I've been enjoying the show. I've been locked in the whole time listening. I just called in just articulate what I was saying because it's kind of hard to type it. But I
Okay.
think when I say mannerism, I think that Nigerians have a certain aura about themselves that comes off as abrasive to a lot of people, right? And in comparison to other groups that's also wildly successful in the West, it can even be stated more successful than Nigerians. But there's something about when Nigerians do get a bit of wealth or status, the way they project it, that I think rubs people the wrong way. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, can you give examples? Can you give specific examples of how they
Well,
project themselves?
I'll just say this, right? So if you look in the West, right, there's the
Mm,
whole African Americans versus Nigerians thing, right? You could
mm,
say Africans, but it's really at the bottom of it, right? Nigerian. So I don't think it's more so jealousy, because I think when I just think that humility, that the average Nigerian doesn't know what humility is. And I mean that respectfully. Like, I'm not trying to be like disrespectful by saying that.
go.
But when they get in any type of position or any type of achievement, like they have to yell it from the mountaintops and project I don't want to say a superiority, but tell the world how they're probably better than the next group, or we're the most smartest, or we're the most. And I think that a lot of people find that a, like there's an abrasive type attitude once a Nigerian
Yeah.
makes it to a certain level, that a lot of people don't like dealing with. And then
You're
the
right.
the problems of dishonesty. So it's just different things that come up that I think could fall up under mannerism and just cultural differences. Whereas in the West, people view different things different. So like the concept of packaging yourself up and projecting an image in the West could be seen as dishonesty. Like, you're not who you portray yourself to be, but it's a lot of nuances to the discussion. But I think just saying jealousy is like an oversimplification of it.
Okay. Miriam, do you want to say something to that?
I agree with what you said. The average Nigerian has no any ounce of humility in them. The average Nigerian, they are just Nigerians are naturally arrogant. So how would you not hate someone like that? I agree with
So,
what you said.
Nigerians out there, let's try and be more humble so that people don't hate us so much. And the other thing
Well,
about dishonesty you
I
mentioned,
cannot be humble. Sorry.
you cannot be humble.
I am Nigerian. If I because I know how we work hard to get certain things that we our country is hard. We work very hard to get things that people from other countries will get easily. So why will I not brag? Please, I will show off. I will brag. I will carry my shoulder. I will add shoulder pads. Please let me. I don't know what humility is. I can't be humble. I can't because I know what I went through to get to that level as a Nigerian.
Bo, you're getting a full dose of the Nigerian spirit right now.
Hey,
I
but
walked
I'm
twice.
not saying that that's something exclusive to Nigerians, right? I think that's a characteristic of black people, period. Because if you look at African Americans, like, they talk, you know what I'm saying? They're real boisterous too once they get to a certain level. So I think it's a trait of black people in general. Whereas I don't know, maybe the history of, like she say, suffering and having to project a certain image. But I see it with African Americans. You see it with a lot of Jamaicans. Like, it's a common trait, but I think that's why a lot of people like view us the way they do. Even as Black Americans, like, we don't have a good reputation in America, or maybe in the world stage is better outside of America due to the media, as far as rap music or music and certain cultural stuff. But within America, we just seen it like braggarts, and it's crazy. But hey, I appreciate you touching it, and I'm enjoying the convo, but I don't have much to add to the convo, and I don't want to derail it. But I appreciate you letting me on.
Oh, thank you very much, Bo. Thank you for coming on. We really enjoyed your contributions. So
Contribution.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, goodbye,
So
man.
bye, Miriam. So
Yes.
the last word before we sign off. What
Okay.
can we do? I
This
mean,
we need to
we're
start holding our leaders accountable for every little thing. This our nonsense attitude of being resilient is our greatest undoing. They just throw
yeah.
anything at us and they will complain for a while, and the next thing we adapt. We can
So we
easily
shouldn't be
adapt.
so adaptable.
No, we just make noise for a few days and then we move on. We look for a way to go around it. It has to stop. They already know this. That's why they can just come on one day and say, no, you can no longer use your phone. And I know they know we'll just complain today or tomorrow, and the next week, okay, we'll find a way, some other way to communicate. Since we can no longer use our phones. And then they'll keep on at it till they take everything from us. We should start holding them accountable. We should stop finding ways to adapt. We should stand up to them. When we say no, we should say no. We should keep at it for a long time. No other way around it.
You're right.
Nonsense
You're right,
music,
Miriam.
yes.
You're right. I, you know, when things happen to us in this country, two things. One, we find a way to make humor out of it. Find
That's
a
the
way
most
to
annoying thing. That's the most annoying part.
make some comedy out of it, and in a way such that it becomes easier for us to bear it. It becomes easier for us to deal with it, and we just move on. Or maybe we shouldn't be doing that so much because it's kind of anesthetizing us to the realities of the terrible
Yes.
governance that we have in this country, you know, where we always find a way, we're always ingenious in finding a way to survive under a very tough situation, under very tough conditions. The kind of conditions we live in this country, if it happens in some other countries, the whole place would have gone up in flames. But we always find a way
Seriously.
to, just keep our heads below and try to survive. But surviving isn't just about breathing. It shouldn't just be about living from day to day. I mean, if your life is horrible, if you're having a horrible experience, if you can't go from your house you can't travel from one part of the city to another part of the city because you're afraid of being kidnapped on the road, then what's the point of, just trying to be alive? I mean, you're not living. You're
You're not
basically a
living.
prisoner in your own country. And is that life? I was in Benin City in January. Was it January or February? And I wanted to go work in Auchi, but I couldn't go because the roads were not safe. That was business opportunity lost for me. I couldn't go because the roads were
Terrible.
not safe. So it's we have to
Now we
wake up.
can't travel by road. We
Yeah,
have started flying. No matter what it costs,
yeah,
we just fly. We've
we
adapted.
just fly. So we
There was
stay
no
adapting.
light. We started buying generators, and now the generator
Generators.
market has become a big market that we don't know if they will ever fix our power sector because of that. Because we adapted by buying generators.
So Nigerians stop being so adaptable. Stop being so adaptable to the rubbish that the government throws at us. And I believe with that we should be able to, come out of this mess. It's a long haul. I understand the challenges that we face. It's tremendous, but we need to become more politically engaged in this country, and we
We
need to
need
stick for
serious
our rights.
sensitization.
Yes, we
Most
do
of us
need
don't
that. We
even know
need,
our rights.
yeah. Most people don't know their rights, and they easily, once the police those in government just threaten a little bit, everybody just like, okay, okay, okay. But well,
So
Miriam,
recently,
thank you very much.
all right,
Okay, you want to say
thank you,
something?
Jeff. No,
You want
it's
to say something?
fine. I was just about to make a reference to something that happened last week. In the
Okay.
person one someone that died last week in Akure from a gunshot
Mm,
wound. How he got to the
mm.
hospital and they refused to treat him because they said there was no
It
police
needs a
report.
police report.
And I'm like, that law has been repealed. Either the hospital doesn't know, or I don't know. I don't know why they still have to, because it was repealed in this last police reform, that 2020 police
Mm.
reform. So you should be suing for that.
You'll be surprised that they
But
didn't know.
of course, even you that is a victim, or okay, you do not know safe.
Mm.
So you cannot sue for what you don't know. Nigerians have zero reading culture. We don't know. We don't read. We don't, so you cannot even know. I
Anyway,
beg.
thanks for coming on the stream. I really appreciate your presence. And thank you
Thanks for
all
having me.
for those who stayed with us. Bo, thank you very much. White Matters, thank you very much. Vincent, thank you very much. Um, Benjamin Mars, thank you very much. All those that came on the live stream, thank you very much. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So until next time, remain awesome. Miriam,
All
good
right, so
night.
thank you very much. Good night.
Yeah.